Welcome back to Fishing It Up. I'm Matt Middleton, and today we will be going over the install of the Garmin LVS34 transducer. Alright, let's take a look and see what's in the box, what actually comes with the LVS34 transducer. There it goes. Trying to do this one-handed. It's a little bit rough. Alright, after going through the instructions, I think I have everything I need to do the install correctly. So here we have the new Garmin LVS34 transducer. It's definitely bigger than the LVS32. And if I read the instructions correctly, we have the correct packages to mount it to the trolling motor shaft with the perspective view mount. So, based on that, it's packages A, B, and C. Okay, guys, just to kind of lay out a couple of the tools we're going to need here. We have a 5mm Allen wrench and a T20 Torx. That's specific to my boat. It's pretty much every panel on here can be removed with the T20, so it's a good deal. But we're going to start, remove these, get the Garmin 106 SV up out of the way, get this removed, and that will get me in there so we can hopefully start unraveling the disaster that is going to occur. Since I already had the LVS32 installed, I kind of took some liberties off camera and removed some of the bolts already. And I've laid that down over here to get this going. I'm going to have to remove the electrical tape off the two transducer wires here, undo my troll jacket, remove this cover here. Oh, by the way, this boat is a Vexus AVX1980. It's a 22 model. Purchased it back in July of 22. It has been a fantastic boat. I have no complaints. It is absolutely great. Normally I complain about everything, but not this one. Great boat. So we'll remove this panel here to get access to where the transducer wire runs back through the rigging tube, back to underneath the console, which my black box is mounted under that panel there. Alright, we have the troll jacket out of the way. You can see here that's kind of just got my transducer wires right out loose, almost ready to go. I just got to separate them in a couple areas here. I did not do these cable ties. I do not condone the use of cable ties because they can be over tightened and damage the cables themselves, but this came from the factory like that. This is the US2 cable for the Ultrex. And while we were at it, I did have, or someone did ask on one of the Facebook groups I'm in, said, what do you do with this cable if you're not using it? And mine's run down in here and just kind of all wadded up in the front of the bow, but you can take, because it runs in, let's see, runs around through here, it goes in right there. You can take these screws out here, looks like there is 4 of them. Take the cover off. Once you get that cover off, the cable actually unscrews on the inside, and then you can remove this piece here. That way the cable will come through. It's got an end on it, but you can remove all that then, and then it won't be in the way. It's pretty easy, simple thing to do. But I'm gonna get the tape knocked out here and start running these wires back to the back. Right, here we are at the console. You get down here and there is 4 screws in this panel here. I'm going to remove that, and that will give us access to my black box. Alright, I have the carpeted panel removed, and that gives us access to the black box. It's a little bit hard to see back in there. Let's see if we can get some light on this. Oh, there we go. Very nice. You can see the black box hidden back in there. But we're going to... I tried to find some string. I was unable to. So I'm going to go with... I'm going to use a fish tape. I'm going to tape the end of it to the current LVS32 transducer wire you see running there. And I'm going to pull that back through, and hopefully it'll come out the other end very easily and go right up that rigging tube back there. And we'll be able to hook the new one to it and pull it back through. It'll go smooth as smooth can be. I hope. All right. We have the LVS32 finally removed. And I'm going to get my fish tape run back through there. It didn't quite work out taping the fish tape to the previous LVS32 cable and pulling it through. I got hung up a little bit and ended up pulling loose. So I'm going to push the fish tape through and then tape the LVS34 cable to it and pull it back through there. A couple things. If you have trouble pulling it through, go ahead and cut the I'm not sure what this is called, but it's what screws onto the actual black box in the back and holds it in there, makes it watertight. Go ahead and clip that off. There's 2 more included in the package. It will make it 10 times easier to pull through your rigging tubes. I tried it. Well, I had issues with the LVS32 pulling it back through with it on. It got hung up. It was very difficult to get out. Started with this one, kind of learned from my mistakes. It got in there, got tight. I worked it back and forth a few times and it didn't loosen up, so I immediately pulled it back out and clipped that off, and it will no problem pull through there. But the one thing I forgot to do is pull it through here first, so there's no way to do that when you have a giant transducer on the other end. So I get to do it twice, and I should be pretty good at it this second time. Okay guys, finally got the cable pulled. It looks like we need a few bags here. Unless I'm wrong, it's A, B, and package C, because I'm going to do the perspective mode install here. That way I'll have that option, which I may never use, but it is definitely there if I need to use it. So we're going to move up front and go and get some of these brackets mounted, and we'll come back and show you what it looks like. Alright guys, I'm back here up front putting the bracket on here, and just a note, something simple makes things easier for me, is to kind of snug these down to where you can still make adjustments to it and don't torque it to death, you know. And then you can get over here, kind of look, hopefully you can see the line that runs down the Ultrex here. This kind of helps you get this lined up about perfectly. I try to work all my bolts here out about the same, and then once we get this where we want it and I feel comfortable with it, I'll go ahead and torque it down. When I torque this down, I'm going to go in a crisscross pattern from this one to this one down here, and then from that one to this one here. That way it tightens it equally, keeps the bolts all about the same sticking out the back. One other thing to note is I mounted this, I kind of cheated a little because I had one on here already, but this is about 6 inches here, and when it's deployed in the water, that puts me about, you can see my water line is somewhere in here, so I'm about 12 inches under the water and 6 inches from the top of the trolling motor head here. Okay, I got everything installed, put back together. You can see here the LVS34, it is in the forward position right now, mounted on the starboard side. There's quite a bit more cable here on this compared to the LVS32. It's a little bit bigger loop, so it'll go in the perspective mode. You can see Taped it in a couple spots. Taped it here so these wouldn't be loose. I need to check slack in that, make sure it's alright. I'm assuming it is, but I need to check it out. Then we put the TH Marine trail jacket back on. And back in the back, everything is put back together. It's tested, should be fine. We're gonna do a little testing and some fishing. So let's see how that goes. We're gonna have to run down the lake and find some clear water, go to the clear end of the lake. There we go. And I was just bashing the murky water. Oh, and it came off. That is unfortunate. I just want to go over a couple of my first impressions and maybe a little bit further out than first. I've used the LVS34 for about 2 weekends now after installing it, and it is not a drastic improvement, but it is overall clear, has better target separation. The biggest thing is it doesn't have a dead spot like it has in the past, or I haven't noticed one yet. I'm not going to say it doesn't have a ghost tree because I have managed to make it show one of those, but with the ghost reject set to auto and my gain within reason, it usually looks pretty clear, way clearer than what I've had on the LVS32, which I do run the floodlight color pattern, and it is a little bit noisier than say your amber colors, and it usually does have more fuzz in the background, but not with the LVS34. It is much clearer. The target separation is much better. Now, the question you're asking yourself is it worth the upgrade? And really, just the same way I felt when I got the LVS32, I was disappointed after using it. Yep, disappointed. Very horrible. First impressions, very horrible. But after I used the LVS32 for a while, I learned to love it. Thought it was great. Now, the LVS34, after using it a couple weekends, the benefits are great. If you have the extra money, why not? But if you're still on a limb, there's nothing wrong with the LVS32. If the dead spot kills you because you're out fishing deep water and the fish are always disappearing magically and off they go into Never Never Land to never be seen again, then maybe you should invest in it. That was one of the biggest problems I had, was the fish disappearing, they get it right in the dead spot, and then boom, they're gone, and I can't get back on them. They've either went to the bottom or just completely swam away while they were hidden from my view. So if that sounds like something you want to pay $11.99 for, then go ahead. It will be beneficial to you. If not, just stick with what you have. As always, if you have any questions, comment below. Click the notification bell to catch all my upcoming videos. And like and subscribe. We'll see you next time.